Senate Bill 75 just cleared the state Senate here in North Carolina, caps the income tax rate, 5.5% in the Constitution. If Barry Smith voters would approve it. You're the associate editor of the Carolina Journal. Here's your plug. So what would a 5.5% income tax rate cap mean for this state?
Well, right now it is 5.499%. So it would not actually require the legislature to bring the tax rate down. Now that's the personal income tax. It also applies to the corporate income tax, which is now 3%. I don't know if you remember or not, but back a few years ago it was 6.9%. The highest margin income tax was 7.75% personal income tax. So it is considerably lower than what it was just a few short years ago.
Why would Republicans care about capping the tax in the Constitution? It's already in the Constitution at 10%,
right.
But to cut it by by 45%, put that cap right there. Why do that when you control tax policy as a supermajority?
They may not always be in control with a supermajority. The push that they're talking about is this is something that I think business wants to see. They want income taxes lower, and again, it's not just personal income tax, it's also the corporate income tax.
This a business move or a personal income tax, private working Joe kind of move?
I think it's probably more. They talk about business, but people are also getting jobs, and they keep bringing that up, that people are coming into North Carolina. North Carolina, by business organizations, is presumed to have a much better tax climate than it used to be, and that makes businesses want to move to North Carolina more.
What was the tone of the debate on the Senate floor on Tuesday afternoon? I can only imagine a tax debate between Republicans and Democrats.
Well, Democrats were making the point that you're going to limit yourself if you do this. If you have to get more revenue, you're going to end up having to increase the sales tax. Republicans say, well, that's not necessarily so. For one thing, there are other ways you could actually get more revenue without raising the income tax. For example, we have a fairly considerably good zero tax bracket, so you could lower the personal deductions. You could lower that exemption. And then, you could also still raise the corporate income tax. Again, it's just 3%.
But then what's the point of capping the income tax rate if you've got gimmicks built into the whole plan that are like magic switches and magic solutions when you need tax revenue and you can't raise the rate?
Well, again, I don't think Republicans want to do that, but those were options they said would be available. Again, they just want to limit the tax on the income of people, and they say they want to let people keep more of their money.
Well, the voters would decide this bill has to get through the House. Any
right.
chance of that? Chuck McGrady's thrown a few bills to the Senate that will never see light of day, or at least even he kind of concedes that. But this is one that goes the other way.
Right.
They've passed this before.
The Senate passed this before late last year. It didn't really give a whole lot of time, and they packaged it with a couple of other constitutional amendments. This is on its own going to the House. I'm told by some supporters that they do have that there is some effort in the House to get that done. So yes, the House is going to have to pass it, and again by a 3/5 majority, just like the Senate did. And it still doesn't become law unless the voters approve it, and the way it's set up now, in November general election next year, the voters would have their say on it.
Do you see the opponents of this proposed constitutional amendment spending lots of money to fight a reduction in the income tax cap?
It could happen. You never really know on some of these things until maybe the last couple of weeks before the election, and you hear a lot of people coming out against it. So it's something we'll have to wait and see.
Okay, the voice of reason, Barry Smith, Associate Editor, Carolina Journal. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.